How would you like to enhance your goalie game with this simple mindset shift? Allow me to let you in on a little secret. The best athletes that I've worked with are not necessarily the ones that are on the ice for 5 days a week or in the gym all the time. They're the ones that have spent time prioritizing their mental game. There's no doubt that you understand the importance of having a strong mental game. If you didn't understand that, you wouldn't have found this video. But a lot of the times we understand the importance, but we don't really know how to strengthen our mindset or how to get there. In every instance, building mental toughness requires a hard self-awareness, self-check. That means really taking time to look into your mind, the way that you think, and understanding what is beneficial to me and what is actually hurting me. What we're going to do today is identify a common negative thinking habit that a lot of humans have, not just athletes. Once we identify that thinking habit, you'll understand when you're using it, and by understanding when you're using it, you're going to be better able to stop yourself in those moments when you start to think in this negative way. The negative thinking habit that we're identifying today is the all or nothing mentality. All or nothing mentality is thinking that there are only two outcomes for every instance, such as success equals winning and failure equals losing. That type of one-way thinking is your ticket to burnout and ultimately unhappiness in your sport. Let's walk through an example together. You come out to play the puck on a dump-in. You send it up the boards, but it's right to the other team's stick. They bury it on an empty net while you're struggling back behind the goal line to get back to your crease. Your brain presents you with two outcomes after this. Number one, I'm bad, I should quit, or I don't belong out here. The second line, if I didn't make that mistake, then I'm good and I deserve to stay. That's the all or nothing mentality. But these are not the only two possible outcomes. If you have a growth mindset, you don't just have those two options. There are plenty of different ways of thinking. Number one, yeah, I made a mistake, but next time I'm going to be better prepared when this happens again. Number two, just because I made a mistake doesn't mean I don't deserve to be out here. I'm still a great player. It's a one-off situation. And number three, hey, that was a tough mistake, but there are a lot of things that I can learn from this. Maybe I can practice this some more. And number four, that mistake just gives me the opportunity to be so much better from here on out. Think about all the areas of your life where you suffer from this all or nothing mentality. You fail a test, you get rejected, you get cut from a team, your coach pulls you in a game, you get embarrassed. All of these types of instances commonly result in us thinking that there's only two outcomes, the good and the bad, and we're constantly labeling things throughout our day, throughout our lives, and of course, throughout our careers as athletes. That all or nothing mentality is not going to set you up for success. You're going to constantly be thinking that if you fail or if you make a mistake, you're done. We know it's impossible to be perfect. We know it's impossible to win all the time. So by constantly thinking that the only way to grow is to keep on winning, then we're ultimately setting ourselves up for failure because we're not going to allow ourselves to grow or have the mindset to grow when those mistakes do happen or those games are lost or we fail from time to time. So my challenge for you is for you to challenge that all or nothing mentality that we commonly have as default by humans. Start recognizing when things happen during the day and you start labeling them as good or bad, or you start thinking that there's only two outcomes or only two options from a catalyst in an event. Once you start identifying those areas that you have this all or nothing mentality, you can start adapting and changing the way you're thinking. Next time it happens and you think of those two outcomes, add those additional three that I gave you earlier. The fact that mistakes are made and we can grow. The fact that just because you made a mistake doesn't mean your physical abilities have changed or you've become a worse goalie. Reminding yourself that a mistake means that from now on and this point forward, we can be so much better. Take this lesson into your next practice or your next game and remind yourself that things aren't black and white when it comes to our development and our growth. And if this video helped you, be sure to like and subscribe for more goalie and mental skills content. And if you want more mental goalie tips and tricks, join my Mindset Academy. I'll put the link below. It's home to over 22 hours of video training content to hone in your mental skills and your mindset on the ice. My goalies that go through this program become so much more confident in themselves, more confident in their play and in their games, and they're constantly hitting the goals that they set for themselves. So join that program if you really want to become mentally tough and mentally resilient and dial in that mindset that you know you can have on the ice, but sometimes it's hard to get to. Thanks again for watching, guys, and remember, it's not all or nothing.